Hello everybody, and welcome to the Retention People's final webinar of the year, Lessons from 2015, How to Make a Bigger Impact in 2016. My name is James and I'm a Marketing Executive here at TRP. I will be facilitating today's webinar. Our presenter is my colleague Julie Allen. Julie is one of our UK retention coaches and has 15 years experience working in the health and fitness industry. If you have any questions during the webinar, please pop them in the box on the right hand side of your screen and we will discuss these at the end. We will be recording today's session so that you can share it with your colleagues and view it at a later date. Jules, over to you.
Thank you, James. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the final TRP webinar for 2015, where today we are going to look back at lessons learned from this year and how to make an even bigger impact for 2016. As James said, my name is Julie. I'm a member of the UK Retention Coaching Team, and it is my absolute pleasure to take you through today's session. As James said, we will be recording today's presentation and sending you the link within the next couple of days so you can either view again and also share with your team. So, what a year it's been, from a rise in popularity of boutique fitness clubs to increase in pop-up budget gyms. 2015 has certainly been a year of challenge and triumph. As the global leaders in customer experience management, we have been extremely excited to share our current research through the TRP 10,000 study with you over the last year. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the TRP 10,000 study, we are tracking over 10,000 members for 3 to 5 years, understanding their underlying behaviours, their motivations. Why do they one day decide to join the gym? Why do they choose the gym that they go to? What do they enjoy? Why do they stay? Why do they leave? What impact does group exercise have on retention? And we also explored PT and fitness tracking devices. So, this year we shared our findings on whether PT influenced retention and what impact do fitness tracking devices have on retention. With the festive season upon us, both PT and wearable fitness tracking devices are attractive gifts to purchase for loved ones. So I'd really like to start today by revisiting some of the key lessons learned regarding the impact that these can have on your member experience. We wanted to understand the main reasons for purchasing PT, which is shown here in this graph. Just over half of members who purchased at least one PT session said their main reasons were either motivation or assistance with achieving goals more quickly. It should be noted that multiple answers were allowed. Now, to break this down, a lower proportion of members reported purchasing PT to help with exercise confidence and also to get started with the programme. We should also note that other reasons given by a small number of members included help with rehabilitation, training for a specific event, and help with weight loss. Females were a little more likely to purchase PT for motivation, with little difference between age groups and length of membership. The youngest age group were most likely to purchase PT to help them achieve their goals quicker. Those in the older age group were least likely to quote this. Now, for members that wanted to boost their confidence with exercise, again, the youngest age group were the most likely to purchase PT for this reason. The members that cited to get started with the programme for their reason, 29% of members aged 35 to 44 years old were least likely to quote this reason for purchasing PT. Now, there was very little difference in gender, age and length of membership when it came to the proportion of members saying they purchased PT to get started with the programme. But it's worth noting that a lot of our new member journeys are all focused on how we get started. So, what is the impact PT has on visit frequency? Is it associated with it? Well, I'm pleased to say that yes. The level of PT sessions purchased is positively associated with regular club visits. On average, members who purchased 4 or more PT sessions in the previous 3 months averaged 1.4 more club visits a month than members who didn't purchase PT. Now, it's important that we start to understand what does this mean in terms of levels of reported progress. Do members purchasing PT report higher levels of progress? Well, compared to members who didn't, members who do purchase PT do report high levels of progress in all areas they were asked about. Not only is this true for physical outcomes such as fitness and weight loss, but also for social outcomes and the enjoyment of exercise. PT members were also more likely to report that they had attended the club as frequently as planned compared to non-PT members. So when considered all together, the two main reasons of the two measures of progress most strongly associated with PT were weight loss and making friends. Now, we know from earlier findings in the TRP 10,000 study that making friends reduces cancellation by 30%. Now, we're not clear here whether making friends means they were friends with their personal trainer or with other members from the club, but this is significant because we know that making friends and the social aspect of training is really important to our members. We have previously reported that progress with personal goals is one of the keys to improved retention, and based on these results, clubs can confidently advertise that regular PT is associated with progress in a wide range of areas, including general fitness, weight loss, and the enjoyment of exercise. So what effect does PT have on our retention rates? A higher proportion of members retain their membership over a 7-month follow-up if they have regular PT sessions compared to non-PT members. And as you can see here, we could actually avoid 29% of observed cancellations if all members purchased the equivalent of 4 or more PT sessions within a 12-week period. However, despite reporting greater progress than non-PT members, members who only have occasional PT sessions actually had a lower retention rate than members who don't purchase PT. Of course, we want to understand why is this. It may be that members who aren't making much progress turn to PT as a last resort with unrealistic expectations for quick results. Therefore, when results don't come in a couple of sessions, they give up altogether. Now, one of the key things that I've taken from this year is certainly around expectations and managing our members' expectations, particularly as we approach January and the New Year rush. Our members will be coming through our doors with a number of expectations, of which, if we don't manage this, could have detrimental effects on their future with us and ultimately increase cancellation rates. So, whatever the reason, if a member tries PT but doesn't continue, they should be treated as high risk of cancellation, and it is important for PTs to understand this added risk factor. I will provide my top 3 recommendations regarding PT at the end of this presentation, and again, please note that links to the full PT webinar, which we delivered earlier this year, will also be included in the follow-up. So I'd now like to focus on fitness tracking devices. Again, a great gift for a lot of people to be receiving this Christmas. I'd like to revisit the TRP 10,000 findings regarding the wearable fitness tracking devices. This market has seen significant growth, yet very little was known about the true impact they had, if any, on overall retention rates. So I'd just like to walk you through this here. Overall, 27% of members reported using some tracking device, with the majority saying they used a phone or web app. Slightly more males than females reported tracking their physical activity, and levels of tracking declined with age. Long-standing members were also less likely to report using tracking technology compared to newer members. Members reported an incredibly broad range of systems for tracking, but the most commonly cited means of tracking was MyFitnessPal, an internet and app-based program for helping people track their food and physical activity to assist with weight loss. All other tracking systems listed were used by less than 1% of members. So of course, again, we want to understand what impact does this have on our members' experience, and for our club, does this influence visit frequency? Well, here we couldn't find any difference. There wasn't any effect on visit frequency for those that were tracking their activity and those that weren't. In fact, there were 6.7 visits for members who reported using tracking technology and 6.7 for members who didn't. So there is currently no association between tracking of physical activity and club visits. However, as I've said, and that's something we're all aware of, this market continues to grow. So it's certainly something we shall revisit in the future. Is it associated with progress? Well, here we can see the percentage of members who report they have made progress in the last 3 months in 9 areas, according to whether they reported tracking their activity or not. Apart from making friends, all outcomes are in favour of tracking, although differences in reported progress between members who track their activity and those who don't is quite small. The largest difference is regarding weight loss, with 9% more members reporting weight loss if they also reported tracking their activity. Now, this isn't entirely surprising given the most common method of tracking reported was MyFitnessPal, which of course is specifically designed to help people with weight loss. Naturally, we wanted to understand what impact activity tracking and retention had. So here we can see that a lower proportion of members retain their membership over 7 months of follow-up if they report tracking their physical activity compared to members who do not. 87% of members who do not track their physical activity retain their membership at 7 months compared to 83% of members who do track their physical activity. The risk of cancelling at any point during the 7-month follow-up period was 25% higher in the tracking members compared to the non-tracking members. Now, the majority of members who track their physical activity are younger members, so it is possible that the age difference accounts for the difference in cancellation rather than the use of tracking technology. So, to move on, I'd like to now discuss visit frequency and how we can influence this. Of course, this time of year, we'll be hearing that our members aim to train 3 to 5 times a week, and we know that currently our members are struggling to visit once a week. Now, with these findings in mind from PT and fitness tracking devices, we can now look at how we can make 2016 the year that when a member comes in, we understand how often they're going to train and they also understand the reality. I'd like to share some of the findings that we've recently published in last month's Health Club Management regarding visit frequency. This graph shows us the proportion of members reporting no club visits by months after joining. Now, there is a fine balance to be achieved to avoid clubs becoming overcrowded and members attending often enough so that they feel that they're getting value for money. Our data shows that each month a member makes at least 1 visit, their likelihood of cancellation reduces by 20% compared with members who don't attend at all. For members in their first 6 months of membership, the benefits of attending is even higher, making at least 1 visit in a month reduces risk of cancellation by 27%. Now, this suggests that failing to attend the club for a month is more likely to lead to cancellation among newer rather than existing members. So this is really significant, particularly as we enter 2016. So, before we finish up today, I'd like to share recommendations with you. If either PT or fitness tracking devices or even membership are on your members' wish list this Christmas, here are our key takeaways. So firstly, focusing on PT. Ensure PT sessions are high quality. We must treat members as high risk if they give up after a few sessions. And in this case, we must review the service. We must ensure expectations of PT are managed. Again, it comes back to ensuring that our members understand what they can achieve, what is achievable, and make sure that we're not disillusioning them in any way. Where fitness tracking devices are concerned, we know that this industry is set to continue to grow and they're going to grow in popularity. Operators need to be cautious. Even though members who choose to use tracking systems to monitor their behaviour report slightly higher levels of exercise motivation and progress on appearance and weight loss, this doesn't translate into changes in club usage or retention. At best, there's no effect. At worst, this can actually increase the risk of cancellation. So here it's really important to understand if tracking is important to our members, and if so, ensure that our teams are having conversations with our members so they can again understand and expect what to achieve, whatever their goals may be. Now, in terms of visit frequency, how do we make that impact? How do we close that back door? What I'd like to ask you today is how are we going to get our new joiner jitters to become the confident members by spring, where your club becomes an integral part of their everyday life? From the TRP 10,000 study findings regarding visit frequency, I'd like to suggest the following 3 things. Firstly, develop a customer experience strategy that reduces the proportion of members who visit less than once a week. Remember, variety is key here, and we need to give our members a reason that they need to return within 7 days. Develop a strategy for targeting members in their first 6 months of membership who fail to attend for a month. And we need to look at our digital strategy here as well. What else can we use to keep our members engaged? View all visits as an opportunity to create that need that want to return within 7 days, and this reaches far wider than the gym team. This has to be your culture. This is your front of house, your leisure attendants, studio instructors, managers. Everybody needs to understand that our underlying role is to ensure our members return within 7 days. I'm sure we're all fully prepared for the New Year's in terms of sales, targets are set, staff know what the promotion is, but do they know what our strategy is in terms of keeping our members? So what will your New Year's resolution be? In last month's webinar, we discussed the importance of understanding our chemical makeup and how that influences our team's behaviours. We need to set our team clear, tangible goals to work towards. So over 2015, we've discussed many things, from prioritising your team meetings and one-to-ones. You need to manage by walking about. We need to understand that we're working with Generation Y. Our teams need to see you walk the talk. Perhaps your New Year's resolution is you want to review how you're going to coach your team. Perhaps you'll reconsider what your internal communication infrastructure looks like. Can we step away from managing by email? What happens next time one of your team says they've got a great idea about how to enhance the member experience? Do we reply by email, or do we take the time to either phone them or go up and speak to them personally and say thank you for adding to the member experience? And of course, the importance of insights. How are we currently collating, communicating and celebrating customer feedback? Is this something that just appears every month on your agenda, or is this a part of your daily conversation that will add to that culture? How are you going to make 2016 the year you go from good, better to be the absolute best you can be?